Every Red Nova target reviewed, go. What's goody, my cool crew, and welcome back to Every Target Reviewed, baby. It's been about 6 months since we've done one of these, and I'm ready to do another one again because Konami has forced my hand. Now, I know you're all clamoring for every tuner reviewed, but, I mean, I don't really have the mental capacity to read even 2 tuners. So we found kind of a workaround to still make a thing that is related to the cool tune archetype. It's not killer tune anymore, now it's cool tune. I don't know if you heard about that. Red Nova says, if this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon that uses 2 or more tuners,
which was supposed to be difficult,
you can special summon 1 Fire Fiend monster from your deck in defense position. Now, the reason we're talking about this in relation to the cool tune archetype is because it can summon Rico from deck after being made into the level 4. So you can make those into the level 4, get the search with that, and then also get the summon from deck to get a second search and do another synchro play. But of course that leaves some room for a bit of extra experimentation, both in this deck and then also in a vacuum that we're going to be talking about because Cool Tune Q has a lock on it to tuners. But I think only 11 of these are tuners, so we're going to be talking about the non-tuners too, just kind of in a different context. So get your ass ready, we're going to be talking about non-tuners. We're going to be talking about Red Dragon Archfiends. And we sure as hell will be talking about Snake Eye Ash. Ultimate Obedient Fiend. This card can only attack if this card is the only card on your side of the field, and if you also have no cards in your hand. The effects of effect monsters that this card destroys are negated. I think the only time this has ever even been considered is as a giant boss monster for skill drain beats. Most notably in Junior Journey, the format where you don't even have to tribute summon for it. Outside of that context, I mean what is it, a 10? What do you want me to do, make Crimson Dragon? And it summons in defense too, so you're not even making use of that giant ass attack stat. Where is the level 14 synchro? I mean, technically, a lot of people say that given that every single assault mode is 2 levels higher than the synchro that it tributes over, Halberd Cannon is sort of in the lore of the game, supposed to represent what a level 14 synchro would look like, and it sucks. It's kind of ass. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but summon negates are bad. They're secretly not good at all. They invented Wave High King Caesar as a version of summon negates that don't fucking suck. Hellshadal Hollow. Flip, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, send 1 Shadow monster with its same attribute from your extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, banish that monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of different original attributes among the monsters on the field. Silk Song reference. I think by the time this video comes out, Silk Song will be out. Guys, it's the Hellshadal Hollow Knight. So this card actually did see a decent amount of play in Tier Lament. It topped as recently as Nats of 2024, right before Beatrice finally died, and all the dream that was Tier Lament finally went away for once and for all. It was just kind of another way to get a few more mills snowballing off of this being milled. And as far as flip effects go, that's a pretty good one. It is a banish, and you get to extra foolish a shadow on the way. That's not terrible. If your opponent has a dark, you can send App Cologne. App Cologne's gets you a search, and you can just immediately pitch that search to use that thing's graveyard effect. Really not a terrible card in any context that you could actually apply its effects in. Just not really any home for anything that it's doing anymore. Quakimeru Valafar. During each of your end phases, destroy this card unless you send 1 Iron Core from your hand to the graveyard. Right off the bat, not even a second option. Just it's gotta be Iron Core or bust, man. All the good Quakimerus are okay, you don't even have to look at Iron Core. Just show a rock. That's the other really funny part of the Quakimerus. Their maintenance costs are they punish you for using Iron Core. You have to send Iron Core, whereas you just reveal the other thing. If you're going along with the gimmick, it's actually worse. You can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 Quakimeru monster. This card cannot be destroyed by the effects of trap cards, and then that's an old-timey version of piercing. So, I mean, It can't be mirror forced? I don't know. This thing's terrible. What the fuck? Infernal Incinerator. This card can only be normal summoned or set by discarding all other cards in your hand and tributing one card you control with 2,000 or more attack. This card gains 200 attack for each monster your opponent controls. This card loses 500 attack for each monster you control. Alright, walk me through this. Discard your whole hand. You have to tribute a monster that's already pretty big. Like, if we're playing this in like some sort of beatdown format, 2,000 is like way bigger than any stat you would have had back in the day, like 1850. Mechanical Chaser was $100 for that alone. But then it like punishes you for having anything else on the field. So it's basically like just a worse Ultimate Obedient Fiend. Ultimate Obedient Fiend is all or nothing. This thing's way smaller, but still punishes you for like trying to go wide at all. It loses attack far faster than it gains it, and its base attack is 28. So to even hit over like a Blue Eyes, your opponent has to have 2 things on board. So there we go, folks. If your opponent fails to play around Lava Golem, you can get them. I've only read the first 9 words on this card. Can't you not get this off of Red Nova? So that's the thing, is it doesn't say it can't be special summoned. It says it can only be normal summoned by doing this. You can still special summon it. It doesn't restrict you. Unchained Soul of Sharvara. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can target one fiend monster or one face down card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. But while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except fiend monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can set one Unchained spell trap directly from your deck. Yes, this was a fantastic card back in its day. Like, being able to like pop any of your Unchained back row, even just like the fact that behind Tour Guide, which was a 1-card combo, your second best normal summon was just normal setting an Unchained monster and then popping it with either this or Aruha, who we'll get to. That gave you a lot of versatility in how you could build boards with this deck back in its day, 2023. I am sorry to inform you that that is in fact a long time ago. You are an old person. You are going to be on Social Security very soon. Now, retro formats are like Toss and Pote. Agov is still pretty new, but then like still it kind of carried over into 2024 and Yubel. Had like a second life in there even while it was at 1 because you only needed 1 copy for the Unchained engine to be playable in any sort of Fiend pile. And the definition of Fiend pile only like expanded as Fiendsmith became part of the format and let like kind of any 2 monsters become more of like a Fiend combo engine. But now all of that is waning. Our good boy will have to be put down soon. Putting him to 3 is basically the same thing as like euthanizing him. You're going to a big deck list upstate, buddy. Red Warg. When you normal summon a Resonator monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but its attack becomes halved. I mean, shit, you know, that's like a true combo with, okay, not Crimson Resonator, because if you wanted to, if you want to summon him, you just special summon him. Red Resonator kind of wants you to have like a smaller thing in hand to use his own effect. I guess you're supposed to normal summon Force Resonator? Sure, fuck it. Really nothing interesting at all to say about this guy. He's like a very specific type of extender that just you need to kind of like really be ready for him. You know, he's gotta be there frame 1 or he's not gonna work at all. Yeah, I've just been letting Saz kind of warg out in the chat. I'm sure he'll get it out of his system any minute now. I'll get one in. Star Warg. How's that one? Flamvel Fiend. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each pyro-type monster in your graveyard. I will never understand cards like this. They're like, when you do damage, do more. Like, unless it's literally, if this card connects in battle, just do all of it. Like, if this card attacks your opponent, inflict 8,000 damage to them. I don't get it. You know, unless you're going all the way, what's like that little bit extra doing? How many would that take? You'd have to be, so you're at 21. You need 30 pyros in grave to kill with this thing. Do you think we can do it? Fuck, Grass Flamvel sounds crazy, bro. We gotta get on that. Red Sprinter. When this card is normal or special summoned while you control no other monsters, you can special summon one level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner from your hand or graveyard. So like this is kind of a terrible summon with Red Nova because you want to summon something with Red Nova after doing a big synchro play. But if you do that, then Red Sprinter can't trigger because you have this big fat synchro monster where his nice empty board should be. But the thing about Red Sprinter is that he also kind of like implies that you should have some setup in grave already. So he's kind of like a turn 3 card for after your opponent completely blows you the fuck out. You're supposed to just draw into him at the exact correct time, normal summon him, and then like make a 6. Because reminder, Red Dragon Archfiend does not really have 7s they can make. They don't have very good ones. I guess Quibelt would be pretty good turn 3. Also, the most important part of this card to point out is that it has human hands. It's going like, it's got grabby hands. The fuck's that about? Abaki! When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by battle, both players take 5. Bro, just after that one, I'm gonna take 5. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go piss. I'm gonna go shit myself. I'm taking 5. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, before we move on, I have to remind you, I am white. I can say this. This is completely fine. Mr. Twitch, do not kill me. Mr. YouTube, I'm pretty sure you just legalized saying fuck, so it's the Wild West over there. I don't think you care. Firecracker. Quick effect, you can discard this card, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent, and if you do, skip your next draw phase. Each time your opponent takes effect damage, place 1 counter on this card. Once per turn during the end phase, remove all counters from this card that were placed by this effect, and if you do, inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each. So obviously, not a Yu-Gi-Oh card anyone has ever summoned, but definitely one people have played in multiple occasions. Going second into time, this card was among the only ways possible to get the edge in life points. So it's useful going first and going second as a time card. And specifically, any deck playing Mathmech Alimbertion, for example, Mathmech, in its heyday in like 22, 23, were able to overlay 3 level 4s to get the search for any level 4 monster, and that's how you got your time card in Firecracker. So you had that versatility where it's both good going first because you get to search it, but also usable going second because if your opponent just doesn't get to their time card, you can just fire off yours. I don't think anyone has ever read this second effect. Salamander Catalyzer. You can reveal this card and 1 Fiend monster in your hand, special summon one of them, and discard the other. When a monster is destroyed by battle involving your Fiend monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So this is a decent card in like Dark World. It's just another way to like proactively discard one of your Dark Worlds while getting a body on board. Now the problem with summoning it from deck with Red Nova is that what you would want to do then is get it into the graveyard, and then you would hope its own effect would get it back to hand so that it can get you some amount of value. But the effect that gets it back to hand needs you to battle, which not how I would have done it. Not what I would have wanted from this card. Have we found a good target yet? Bro, we haven't even found a tuner yet. The next one better be a tuner. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Yeah, man. Alright. Let's actually talk about this for a moment. Because, yes, this is a tuner, and therefore, under the restriction on Q will tune Q, you can summon Gorilla Kite from deck with Red Nova. That is a legal play. And then, specifically, what you could do is tune it with Trackmaker to summon Visas Amritra, because Amritra does not require any non-tuners, just a light monster, and Trackmaker is a light level 4, so along with the level 4 Gorilla Kite, you can make Amritra, get a search, chain block it with that 500 damage. It doesn't even chain block Gorilla as mandatory. Fuck me, man. I fought for you. I tried so hard to think of something for you. God damn it, man. You always disappoint me. Just like I've always disappointed my dad. Infernal Queen Archfiend. Once per turn during your standby phase, you must pay 500 life points or this card is destroyed. When resolving an opponent's card effect that targets this card, roll a 6-sided die and negate that effect if you roll a 2 or a 5. And if you do, destroy that card. Once per turn during the standby phase, target 1 Archfiend monster on the field. It gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. This is not optional. You must pay life points. But also, if you can't, that's fine. I'll just fuck off then. I'll just go fuck myself. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna roll this die. And if I roll a 2 or a 5, then Infernal Queen Archfiend is a good card. All right, you ready? And that's 3. I'm sorry. Better luck next time. Red Gardener. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a red Dragon Archfiend monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So that's like kind of cute, I guess. Just like a red Dragon Archfiend specific hand trap that lets you protect all your guys from destruction. It's kind of like Memento Clan Goblin. Like, you just discard it to protect all your guys from targeting for the turn. But the difference between Red Gardener and Goblin is that Goblin is independently playable, and that's just a bonus. Red Gardener seems to think, like, you just need that destruction protection real bad. Red Lotus King Flame Crime. During the main phase, if you control a Fiend Tuner or your opponent controls a special summon monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can inflict 400 damage to your opponent for each fire monster you control with different names. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can send 1 normal trap from your deck to the graveyard. What an oddity. What an odd card this is. Just send any normal trap. Any of them? So one of the main ones that I looked into when I was researching this card was Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. What you can do is you can send this, get like any field spell you want, and then we were looking into Ancient Pixie Dragon because as we've been over, it was awkward weaving a 7 into a red Dragon Archfiend line because there's not a lot of Dark Dragon 7s. So Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, just getting any random field spell, would let Pixie Dragon do its thing, draw you a single card, and pretend to be useful. The main thing you're supposed to send is Red Rain, because Red Rain can add itself back from grave when you make like a red Dragon Archfiend, and then it is like a pretty crazy board wipe, so being able to search it does kind of add something to a red Dragon Archfiend deck. Oh, this is another new one. You could send like Black Goat, and then Black Goat Engrave just like prohibits anything for an entire turn. That's such a crazy effect. I can't believe that's on like a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. Pick 1 monster, and your opponent can't use it. What, like any of them? Cursed Fire King Doomburst. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 400 until the end of this turn. If you control a Fiend Tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 600 attack. I'm noticing a pattern. Why is this a Fire King? Did we ever figure that out? It even has Fire King synergy technically, because you can destroy it and lower something's attack for some reason. The only effect on this card is to get on board. I don't know why they printed all those other words on it. I do believe it is a Jack Atlas card from the manga. I don't know what he did with it in there. I don't know if he was playing Garunix in the manga. Unchained Twins Aruha. You can target 1 card you control. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Fiend monsters. Also destroy the targeted card. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. If this card on the field is destroyed by card effect or by battle, you can special summon 1 Unchained monster from your hand or deck. So yeah, kind of just the same sort of thing as Sharvara. Not a quick effect, so you can't use it to like dodge things, but you can use it to kind of start plays by setting any Unchained card. I remember when this card came out, what were the expensive Unchained cards back then? I think this card was like $30 or some shit, just because there was nothing else in Chaos Impact. There was like a long stretch of product during the middle of TOS where they didn't want to make anything that really overthrows the meta, so they just kind of kept putting out sets with jack fuck all in them. I remember Rising Rampage was a pack with 1 card in it, and that was Apollo Usa. And then some of the cards aged well, like they eventually got support that was good. Like Romulus was in there. Romulus was an import from Link Vrain's pack, so that was like kind of speculated about. And then the Tenyis were in Rising Rampage, and those were kind of unplayable dog shit. It took until Sword Soul came out like 2 years later for people to go back and go, oh yeah, worms. Oh, worm? Tune Rico. If this card on the field will be used as synchro material, one tuner in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Tune monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except a level 3 monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. So yeah, that's the whole reason we're here today, is that using Tune Q to summon Red Nova, you get to make the 4, use the 4 to search, I believe, the field spell, and then use Red Nova to get to Rico, because then Rico can search either of your level 2s, so you can just immediately get to your next synchro play, like making Red Seal or attributing over it with the field spell to get to the 2, searching one of the 3s, and then make the 2 and the 4 into Loudness War. Really just opens the whole thing up to like a lot more plays that it can do now. But we're not here to talk about the intended targets. We hate the intended targets here. I mean, I guess this wasn't intended. It was more just like retrofitted later on. It's retroactively intended. Predetermined, retroactive, I don't care. I want to see some real dog shit. Show me the worst card on the list right now or I riot. Yeah! Stray Asmodean. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by battle, both players gain 800 life points. Guys, we found it. We found the anti-Abaki. This is the thing, is this card makes you lose life points. This card makes you gain life points. Abaki represents the music that makes you lose control. But Stray Asmodean is music that makes you gain control. You know what that's a reference to is, one of the fucking moderators of the Histcord made a joke about wanting to make a playlist of music that makes you gain control like 5 years ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. Music that makes you gain control is like the funniest thing anyone has ever said to me. Blast Asmodean! If any spell or trap cards are chained, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Shit. I was about to say we should get this guy into like Tirishizu format, but that was like all monster effects being chained. It was 0 spell or trap cards. When you mill, the only thing you can do is activate spell or trap effects, not spell or trap cards. I mean, technically you can activate like Called by the Grave at that point, but like the point being made here is he would not be very useful in that scenario where it's just effects in graveyard being activated. Yeah, so this is just a card that was printed during that era where they really wanted you to play Chain Burn, and then they got mad that everyone played Chain Burn, so they put Chain Strike to 1. Because we weren't doing it right. You're supposed to use all these cards that say, like, Miraculous Rebirth, or like Mystical Wind Typhoon, where you're always causing these crazy long chains to occur. And instead we just played trap cards. We just played chainables. Just cards that you can theoretically chain. But all these cards care about specific chain links, like 3 or 4. This guy he's just like, man, if there's a chain going on, I want in. Get me in there. Soul Resonator. Everyone get ready for the soul of the Resonator archetype. This guy actually is the heart and soul of the Resonators. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you can add special summon from the extra deck except Dark Synchro monsters. If a card you control would be destroyed by card effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Okay, do you guys know what that effect is for? As you can see, it protects any card you control, as long as you control Red Dragon Archfiend or one of his buddies. That effect was put on this card because if you end turn 1 on Red Dragon Archfiend, during the end phase, he will destroy all of your guys that didn't attack this turn. On turn 1. The first turn of the game. That's what Red Gardena's for, but Red Gardena doesn't actually do that. He says when your opponent activates a card or effect, so if your opponent, like, hand traps you and gives you a window to go, oh, Red Gardena, oh, and they're like, well, that doesn't affect Ash. I'm like, okay, but I needed this, man. Moving on from that, though, Soul Resonator is really good. You want to talk about every tuner reviewed? Let's talk about every fucking Fiend monster reviewed. Yeah, let's just pick a random one. Dark Mimic level 3. Technically what you could do if you wanted to make your Tune deck even fucking brickier is instead of just going right into Rico, you summon Soul Resonator first, search Rico because it's a level 4 or lower Fiend, use the extra normal you get from the field spell on Rico, and now you're locked to darks. But luckily, perhaps intentionally, I don't know. The 2 level 5s are both dark, so technically you could make them under the soul lock. I literally could not imagine a single reason you would do this though. Flare Resonator. A synchro monster that used this card as material gains 3. Music that makes you gain 300 attack points. Okay, let's be fair. This is like the 4th tuner we've reviewed so far, making it better than almost everything else on this list. Which song makes you gain 300 attack points? If I had to say a song that makes me gain 300 attack points, just 300, no more, I would have to say 1985 by Bowling for Soup. That song gives me just that little bump, you know, like the little extra, like not like a whole line, just like a little, you know what I mean? Grenmaju Daiza. This card's attack and defense become the number of your banished cards times 400. All right, what's the plan here? So Q-Tune Q, summon Red Nova from deck. Pass. Opponent passes right on back. You're not locked to tuners anymore. Synchro summon the 4. Summon Grenmaju from deck. Activate Orochi in hand. That's 3,200 plus Orochi's 24 is like 56. Plus Trackmaker's 0 attack points. Good job, man. You're really contributing so much to the team right now. Guys, I think maybe the Q-Tune Grenmaju dream is dead. I don't think it's gonna work out. Red Resonator. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand. When this card is special summoned, you can target a face-up monster on the field, gain life points equal to its attack. So as we mentioned earlier, Trackmaker has 0 attack. So if you summon this with Red Nova in that moment, what does he do? He gives you 600 life points.
6.
What music do you think makes you gain 600 life points? It couldn't be Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. That song makes you gain 8,000 life points. That song literally like revives you from the dead. Not even as much as Stray Asmodean. Little bro is not doing well. All right, what can I say about Red Resonator that's not just like completely dismissive? He is Goblinberg on normal summon. He does like get one of your Kuel tunes out of hand. So he's kind of in that space that people were arguing about Tin Goldfish a long time ago. Is Tin Goldfish an extender? Like people were saying like, no, he's a starter because you have to start your play with him. But it's like, no. You need the thing that he summons to actually start your play. He himself is a pre-extender. It's an extender you have to start with rather than extending from your hand with. That's sort of what Red Resonator is like for the Kuel Tune archetype. And then, in a pinch, you can special it with Red Nova. Infernoid Decatron. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Infernoid monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, increase this card's level by the level of the sent monster. And if you do that, this card's name becomes that monster's original level, and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. So like technically, this can be either a monster negate or a spell trap negate if you play like one of these two massive mega bricks. But it also could just be like a guy that can sculpt his level to whatever you need it to be. Like if you need some jank combo for Kuel Tune, then you can use Decatron to be like whatever level you need him to be. He's malleable. He can bend in all sorts of directions. He's pretty limber, if you know what I'm saying. Folks, I'm gonna stick my dick in that Tron. Red Duston. Cannot be used as material for anything except links, because this was pre-links. They didn't future-proof it, so you can use this as link material. You can only control one Red Duston, and while this card is face up on the field, it cannot be tributed. If this card on the field is destroyed, its controller takes 500 damage. Music make you lose 500 life points. Music make you lose 500 life points. I like that they just gave up on Dustons. They tried to make Duston work, and then when Link monsters happened, they were like, no, this isn't gonna happen. Never mind. I hate my life. The guy who made Dustons just like shot himself. When the guy who invented Dustons read Fiendsmith Requiem, he literally just took out a gun and he just did it. Red Mirror. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one Fire Fiend monster in your graveyard, add it to your I thought you were gonna say like summon it, maybe to like block the attack. Maybe we bring back Ultimate Obedient Fiend, and now we're not taking any more damage. But no, we're adding it to our hand. You want me to add back Red Gardna And in the battle phase, now we have card effect protection. If you synchro summon while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step or the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Okay, so if you summon this with Red Nova, synchro it off to get into the graveyard, and then like attempt to get it back to hand, that just ain't gonna work. He's sticking around. He's staying there. He's like, no, no, no. I have to wait here until next turn before you can bring me back. What does he even do? And finally, double Resonator. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one face-up monster on the field. That target is treated as a tuner this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Fiend monster you control. That Fiend monster is treated as a tuner this turn. My brother, I'm sure you will find that my board has no shortage of tuners, so I don't know what you think you're helping with. Is this a worse one than Dekatron? Probably not, right? Like, technically, this can... No, I'd say Dekatron having 500 attack points actually is better than anything double Resonator could possibly help you with. What I will say is this is a rare triple intersection. This is a level 1 fire, a fire fiend, and a fiend with 0 attack and 0 defense. This card has been talked about on 3 separate episodes of every target reviewed now. This is a legend. We're talking to a celebrity right here. And I don't think he's ever accomplished anything once. All right, I guess we've kind of locked into the bit of doing an order at the end. It's nerf or nothing. I mean, so first of all, the number one thing we have to do here is put all the tuners first. Everything after that is just completely potential, man. Literally just waiting for a second deck to be able to use Red Nova before we even look at them as an option. These two first, because like Soul, I mean, technically you could use him for something. He searches any fiend, that's pretty good. And then he locks you to Darks, which, I mean, Loudness War, you're locked out of that. But the other two you can still make. You, because you're Tin Goldfish for the deck. You, because you could theoretically be a negate. And then I think I'm comfortable with the rest of this order. Gorilla Kite does do his thing. You try your best, and then you kind of accomplish nothing of any kind. Everything after that, like, okay, let's put the Unchaineds ahead, because they are good cards. Let's put Hollow up here, because he has results. He's got feats. Gren Maju probably in the same ballpark. I'm gonna say Flame Crime is definitely one of the higher on the list of potential men. And then, of course, we gotta put Stray Asmodean on the top because he did make us gain control. That's true, Dekatron could be anything. He could even be a negate. I think literally that's Soul Resonator, though. Soul Resonator could, like, okay, guys, Rico is Rico, but Soul Resonator could be anything. He could even be Rico.